everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Constance the Reader, and today is going to be a manga shelf tour slash manga recommendations. So I did a poll on Twitter, thank you for everyone who voted, where I asked, do y'all want to see me give a video that just recommends manga? Would you rather have me just going over like only shelves that have to do with manga, or would you like a combination of both? Combo of both won. Honestly, that's the one I wanted to do anyway, so I respect the vote, but I probably would have done it anyway because I wanted to do it. This might be a long one, so thank you for everyone who's going to, come along for this ride with me. I really appreciate it. Just to get out of the way, subscribe, hit the notification bell, like the video at the end if you want to, thank you very much. And yeah, with that being said, let's just get right into it. Let's start the tour. So for those of you who have seen my office tour, you're familiar with this little intro. So here is my office, but we are going to start off at this first bookshelf. So a lot has changed since my last bookshelf tour or office tour. These two bookshelves used to be the same, but you shall see later when I get into it. This has remained the same, but it's a little bit different. So I changed some of my shelves here. Sorry, there's a picture in the way. But as of right now, this first shelf and then the one above it have become the anime situation. And as you see on the top, we've got some figures. I mentioned this a while ago that I saw on someone else's YouTube channel that they would hang their charms off of this like grid thing. I really liked that. I used to have this hanging, but it is no longer hanging. This is the best option right now for it. I have a blue Exorcist figure, and I also have a Demon Slayer figure, and I have some stickers for my car, and then this like old King's Dominion, name thing from when I was like, I don't know, 12 years old. It's been so long. So this is the first shelf on our tour. I have this new figure that I just bought, literally opened it today. She is from the time I got reincarnated as a slime. So that's why she is in front of those 10 volumes. And we're gonna put her carefully above. So these 10 volumes used to be on my manga shelves behind me, but I recently put them over here because, as you'll see later, I have a lot of like complete series on those shelves or just more than 10. I still want to continue the series, but I'm not going to rush to get more volumes just yet. I'm going to pick them up as I go. But yeah, you can see this is like a mix match of a bunch of different things. The most recent volumes that I bought were Devilish Darlings Portal Fantasy. This, I don't really have a reason. I don't have a good reason for why I bought this. I think it just popped up as a recommendation, and there is this person who I buy like anime merch from. I believe their name on Instagram is Midori Mischief. They make a lot of the flags that I have, and one of the characters from this series was a flag. And I was like, oh, okay, let me get into this. I don't know if this is an anime or not. It definitely seems very fan servicey. It is what it is. I thought, why not? It's like $6. My husband got me the Hellbound Volume 1. I did not realize that this was a Netflix series. It seems like very horror-esque, and I'm pretty sure that this was recommended on a TikTok, so I'm not familiar with the story. I don't know if I would have liked watching this, because as you can kind of see, like, it kind of reminds me of what Ajin looks like, and Ajin was really hard for me to watch. I can't explain why. The animation is just like not my biggest go-to. But I figured, why not? Someone recommended this on TikTok that I follow, so let's give her a try. And another recommendation from TikTok was Alice in Borderland. I had never heard of this before. This is another one that my husband was so kind to buy me. But someone that I followed said that like this is one of the newest series that they had started that they were really, really excited about. There's 3 volumes out now, but oh, that page flip was terrible. But I think the 4th one comes out later this year. I'm not sure. But hey, I thought, you know what? Why not give it a try? Never read this before. I'm not even really sure what it's about. And that's okay. It's okay to not always know everything. And I posted these on Instagram. My friend Neptune was so kind and got me and my husband these used Japanese volumes. So one of my husband's favorite animes is Fullmetal Alchemist. Same thing for me. So she found this one. And then Kakaguri. I love this series. I loved the first season. I also have the first volume of this. But man, this looks so pretty. So thank you so much, Neptune. And like I said, we just got a whole mixed match of stuff. I've kind of gone over some other ones on here before. Obviously, really excited about Little Witch Academia. I have to continue collecting School Alive. And yeah, like I said, the time I got reincarnated as a slime, I really like that series, but I'm not going to rush to complete the rest of the series just yet. I'm going to take my time. As most of you know, I really like Fire Force. So I just bought the 28th volume, read it today. So I have one of the figures beside these guys. As you can see, they're not the best, very uneven. I did not want to buy like acrylic risers, so I taped a bunch of Funko Pop boxes together and did this like tiered thing, but it's not totally working because the little clear acrylic bookends make the first few and the last really even, and then the other ones are like meep, 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 meep. But that's okay. We're gonna work with what we have. And then we have the Gray Man. So the story with this man, I am one volume away from completing this series. I bought an omnibus that had volume 18, but I really want every single volume. So I'm trying to be patient. I did order it. Now it's delayed. We shall see, but I cannot wait till I can put volume 18 in there. Now, while we're here, I would definitely suggest reading Fire Force. It's a series that I really like, and it's by the same creators as Soul Eater. It does have, you know, its little fan servicey character. Not my favorite, but honestly, I feel like the story is really solid as it's gone on. So even though they do have that character that's like, ooh, boobs, it's okay. We've moved on. I can deal with it. It's fine. Yes, she's good. And then we have the really nice little light up acrylic 02s. I don't remember which one has batteries in it. Neither. So forget I said anything. I have all of the Demon Slayer manga, and I have a few figures here, and then a Nezuko just kind of hanging out over there, Tanjiro over there. And then my husband got me these really cute Jujutsu Kaisen little tiny figures that I don't really have any place for. And then my cute Jockin. I will always love my little Jockin. So Demon Slayer, love this series. I would absolutely recommend it. I need to get back into watching the anime, but as a series, I thought it was fantastic. I collected it as it was coming out. I love the story. I love the characters. I thought the ending was so... I definitely remember sobbing at the end. She did not care about killing people that you love. That I can tell you for a fact. And it was hard. And as we make our way down, you see all of my Sailor Moon Funko Pops and Gashapons, and I just got a new Sailor Pluto, which I'm very excited about. She's that one right there. I might do a close-up for you guys. I don't collect a lot of those, what are they called, Q pockets or poskets? You know, they're the ones with the big-ass heads, but they're like a little bit more detailed than your Funko. That's okay. She's a cutie. I love her. But yes, this is the Sailor Moon. Here we have all the single volumes of Sailor Moon, and I had like a little extra Pluto Gashapon toy that I had one behind her. I actually have some more manga volumes behind the Sailor Moon ones, like Death Note, but it's very random, and I didn't really feel like taking them all out for you guys. They're not ones that I necessarily plan on reading. Like behind what's below us, I have some JoJo Bizarre Adventure hardcover manga, which I don't hate it. I don't hate JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but I don't think it's for me. But yes, we got the Sailor Moon here, and it's way too low for my tripod to really catch, but obviously I have the box set of Tokyo Ghoul, which I have not read yet. I know, I'm a terrible person. And just to sum it up, that was my first shelf. Here are some of my figures in my little IKEA DTOF cases. I've got some stuff at the top, as you can see. I've got these manga here. And yeah, so like I had said before, I used to have a matching one of these shelves here on this side, but many years ago, I like cleaned my parents' house when I lived with them, and they went to Vegas on vacation. And I was like, you know what? I want to do something special for them. So I bought them a bookshelf, and I don't know what it was about this one. I just loved it so much. And I was like, if you ever get rid of it, I would like it. They gave it to me. So that's why this is here. It's a little bit bigger, and that's what I like about it. It's also kind of hidden from when you are turning the corner in the hallway to come into my office. You almost can't see this one, which is kind of nice and cool. And you know, I could just have a few more options here, which I like. Obviously, we saw the Sailor Moon. I've got some other books up there, but you know, you got Demon Slayer, Song. And then we have my Studio Trigger case. You know, I'm obsessed with Darling in the Franxx, Promare, Gurren Lagann, BNA, so exciting. And now, oh, and so these flags here are by the person I was talking about, who basically, you know what I'm trying to say, blah, blah, blah. This is the newest flag. She's from My Hero Academia, which I did not watch that. I do not care. It is fine. It's very cute in pink, and in the morning when the sun is coming through, I absolutely love the way my room looks because it is all like super bright pink. I'm obsessed. All right, so on to this corner of my room, which is one of my favorites. These are the manga shelves I've mentioned several times, but we're gonna start here at this bookcase. So as you can obviously tell, this matches the one when you first walk into the room. This was on the other side of the DTOF cases, but I just liked the other one. I preferred it, and honestly, this one fit here pretty nicely. And we are going to start at the very bottom because it's super easy, and then work our way up. So as you can see, huge box sets. So I have the first box set for Bleach, which I am almost done with. I have the second and third One Piece box sets down here. I am still debating on if I want to take these out of the box and display all the single volumes. I wouldn't throw the box away because if I ever moved, it would be much easier to just put them back in here. Or if I'm just going to leave them in the box, it's a really tough decision because I just feel like, do I have room for the single volumes among the other single volumes that I have? I do not. I really do not. So they may stay in the box, but that's okay. The boxes are very cute. I like them. All right, so on to shelf 2. As you can see, I have all of Chainsaw Man, Zob 100, Kaiju number 8, and then Miyako-chan. The reason why some of the volumes are missing here is that I actually am trying to get better about doing my thumbnails. So I have read most of Zom 100 this month, so I just took the first volume out, put it on that shelf that was behind me so that I know, hey, I finished this series. I think that's going to go a little bit easier for me. But I would absolutely recommend Zom 100. This has been such a fun manga to read. It's about a guy who worked at an exploitative job, and he was really losing himself in this job. And then one day he wakes up and there's a zombie apocalypse and he doesn't have to go into work. And I just found that to be so funny because it's so relatable. Like, some of us are working because we have to. Everybody has to work, you know, to survive. But some of us are at jobs that are really horrible and they feel like they are sucking the life out of us. That's what he was having to go through. And sometimes even when you're sick, you don't even have the ability to not go into work, right? I mean, for me, I don't get sick days for my job. Neither did he. Or he did, but he couldn't take them because then you're looked down upon. So the very toxic work environment. And now there's a zombie apocalypse. He doesn't have to go to work. He's just trying to live his life and do all the things that he would have wanted to do on his bucket list. And he's meeting friends along the way. He's saving people. Honestly, this is like such a heartfelt, really sweet book. It's pretty graphic though, obviously, because there's zombies in it. But it's absolutely a series that I recommend. I will absolutely be finishing this series. I think it is 9 volumes. I'm almost done with it. I just recently read the 7th volume, so it's almost over. I don't know how this is going to end. He might have to solve, he might have to find the cure for zombieism, but we shall see. I read Chainsaw Man last month, and honestly, it was a wild ride. It's a series that I want to reread again because I definitely got lost along the way. I forgot what was going on. It's not a complicated series, but I definitely got lost for a minute. But it's one I would recommend. I've mentioned this before. Apparently, this is just like the first arc of a longer series. So I'm pretty sure we're going to see the same characters that, you know, lived at the end of this, but it's just going to be a different kind of storyline arc, which will be interesting. I'm not sure when the anime comes out, but a lot of people are really excited for it. I would really like to see it too. It looks amazing. This one was also very gory, so if you're going to get into this, beware, very gory. And as I've mentioned, Kaiju number 8, really love it. Very, very great. I believe that series is going to be 6 volumes. I'm not sure how many Miroku-chan are going to be. I need to look that up, but definitely recommend Kaiju number 8. I think it's going to be a really, really fun series. It's definitely going somewhere very interesting, if I remember correctly. Obviously, I only have 3 volumes. And the 3rd volume came out at the very beginning of this month, I think. Something like that. But I would highly recommend. And now we have this top shelf. As you can see, I have some volumes of One Piece in the back. So my husband's birthday was in July, and I was trying to get him figures for his birthday. So I saw this one. I was like, oh, it's Luffy, it's Chopper. Chopper is one of my favorite characters. He's so sweet and cute. I mean, look at him. Yeah, so I ordered these. So excited. Supposed to get here a few days after his birthday, which was the 9th of July. And and that same week, he got his figure pre-order. And when I tell you this man pulled this figure out of the box, it's a set, so there's 2 more that has Zoro and Nami. When I tell you, it was like, I know that my expression was like that of a movie. Because I could not believe that he bought these for himself. I need to do better about seeing what his pre-orders are. So basically, I ended up with a figure. This is my first One Piece figure. I'm very excited. She's cute. Look at Chopper. Are you cute? So yes, I now have a One Piece figure. The collection will begin, but that is why he's in front of these. And we're going to put him below. So when I started reading One Piece, I thought, you know what, let me do the omnibuses. This will probably be the easiest way. Well, I got to this one and it became increasingly harder to find the omnibuses. So I decided to make the executive decision and get the last few in the single. That way I could hopefully get the box set moving forward. So I got really lucky. My husband got me that second box set that we saw first on the very bottom shelf. Honestly, this series was so good. Baroque Works was a great arc. I'm really excited to continue the series, as I've mentioned several times before. And these guys here, so once again, a TikTok. I watched High School of the Dead so long ago. I didn't even know that it was also like a manga, like you could read. But somebody on TikTok was showing their manga collection, and they had these hardcover volumes that were in color. Oh, let's be careful with the lights now. And I was like, what the hell? I have to have this. If you've ever watched, oh Lord, High School of the Dead, you know there's some nudity in it. And I think when you take this cover off, that's the nude part. So we're not going to do that, even though I'm going to mark this as enough kids now. But yeah, full color, so awesome. 2 giant volumes. These are so heavy. That's why she is on the shelf still. But I really need to get into reading this. It's the full color edition. I don't remember how much I paid for both of these, but I got them off of Amazon. Very, very quick. But definitely a good series to watch as an anime. It's gory. Obviously, like I said, there's nudity, so it's a little bit of fan service. But ultimately a really good series. And while we're here, I did not get a chance to get my stepladder out and put this up with the other 2 volumes, but I recently got the 2nd volume of Gangsta. This is a anime that I definitely recommend you watching. Unfortunately, it's only 1, season, because the studio that put it together went bankrupt. So Who knows if they're ever going to get a second season. I don't even know if the same thing kind of applies to the manga, but I decided that I want to start collecting it and reading it. I recently started the anime all over again just for fun, but yeah, so far I love Gangsta. It's really good. I would absolutely recommend it. Okay, now we get into the corner, the piece de resistance. And I'm not getting the stepladder out, y'all. I'm just going to hold y'all above my head on the tripod. Alrighty, so this is, hopefully y'all can hear me. I think y'all can hear me. So this is the first shelf. This is another, you know, mix and match of genres. Have not read a lot of the stuff that's on here. All right now, girl. Get that hand steady now. Komi Can't Communicate is so cute. It's not what I normally gravitate towards, but I really enjoyed that series. The Way of the House Husband, Sweat and Soap, same thing. They're series that I wouldn't necessarily gravitate towards, but I did like them. I really want to get into Fruits Baskets. Everybody recommends that I watch that. Soul Eater, I've mentioned before. I'm trying to collect that series. I loved that anime, so I highly recommend it. Gangsta, as you can see. And the final 3 volumes at the very end is the first Kakegurui, After the Rain, and I Want to Eat Your Pancreas. Those 2 were recommended to me by a friend, especially I Want to Eat Your Pancreas. I haven't read it yet because, as you can see, it is very chunky. All right, second shelf, The Promise Neverland. This is a series I absolutely recommend reading. Now, I got into The Promise Neverland because I watched the anime first, and I really did like the anime. I do think that the manga is much better than the anime, especially from what I've heard for season 2. So I did not watch the second season. And I'm glad I didn't, because apparently they cut out huge chunks of the story, which is very disappointing because this series is really, really good. It has some things that I'm not really happy with, like the way that certain characters are depicted. I think it's problematic. With that being said, I think the plot, like the story itself, is actually really good. I cried several times during this series. You fall in love with characters, did not care about killing people, but I would highly recommend it. Read it if you can. Next, we have Noragami. This is an ongoing series, but I'm not sure how many volumes are in it. I haven't read the last 2. I just recently got volumes 22 and 23. And like I said earlier, this is why some things have gotten moved around, because The Promise Neverland is a complete series. Noragami is almost complete, so that's why some series got pulled off of the shelf. You know, some things stayed up there, but they're so far, you know, it's like I can't fucking reach them. And then we've got 3 on the very end. Burn the Witch, my husband's uncle gave me that one, which is really great. I Am a Hero, and When a Magician's Pupil Smiles. I think that was recommended on a TikTok, but I have no idea what it's about, and it is huge. I really should pick that up soon though. And then we have the Hunter x Hunter shelf with my Crollo and Illumi pops. I'm obsessed. I love them so much. Hunter x Hunter is an anime and a manga I absolutely recommend. I love this series. I watched the whole series earlier this year, I think, if not earlier this year, at the end of last year. And I loved it. My husband was the one who recommended it to me, and I'm so glad I watched it. It's been nice to revisit the story. Reading the manga, I feel really lucky that I've been able to finally collect everything that you can collect of the series. Tagashi is coming out with more chapters soon. I think he's in the process of making a few more chapters, so we'll see how many volumes we have to go. As I've mentioned in the past, so with the way that the anime ended, it had more content to use for more episodes, but these last like 4 or 5 volumes are story that's past what you see in the anime. So there's more story than what you see when you watch it. I haven't read those yet. I stopped at, I don't know, I think volume 19, because we get into the Chimera Ant arc. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take my time with that. So I don't even know how these last few volumes end and what stories I don't know. So I'm excited. And then the final shelf over here, this is where the Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime used to be. So I have Mob Psycho 100, Die Dark, most of Blue Exorcist. And I recently got into Call of the Night. So, if you can see, there's a portion of Blue Exorcist that's missing, and that's 11 through 14. I think for Christmas I asked for this from my mom, and I was like, you know what, I'll have her get volumes 6 through 10. No, that's right. I asked my mom to get me volumes 15 through 20. I was going to get myself 1 through 10. I don't know why I did it that way. The other day, I went to Barnes & Noble and I got 21 through 27. Don't ask me why I do the things I do. I just do them. I haven't read Mob Psycho 100 yet. I watched the first episode of that and really liked it, but never finished it. Die Dark is by the same people who made Dorohedoro, I think. So it's kind of like a dark, spooky little situation. As you can see from that artwork, very much Dorohedoro. And yes, Die Dark Volume 4 just came out. I think it was this month in August, early August. Blue Exorcist is amazing. I can't remember which volumes I've read so far, but I watched the whole first season. I tried the second season. It wasn't my favorite, so I think I'm going to like the manga more. And my husband just recently got me some of the volumes of Call of the Night. This is like a vampire manga. Our friend Viri is reading it. She said that she kind of liked it, and I think it's an anime too, so I'm excited to get into that series. I don't know how many volumes it is. It's probably like 10 or something, so I'm gonna collect all of those. So that is the corner, and now for the final tour, we will be seeing the living room manga. All right, so it's a wide angle lens time. So we are in my living room. You guys have seen this before when I did like bookshelf tour updated, but living room style. But here I have all of Prison School, all of Raw Hero, and all of Akame ga Kill Zero. So we're going to start with Prison School. So Prison School is one of my favorites. This is 18 plus, okay? You can see in the corner, explicit content now. So this is about a group of guys who are in a formerly all-girls school, but there is still these strict rules that, you know, boys can't like fraternize with the girls, and if you do, you go into prison school. And it's actually really funny, but it's also very explicit. I'm not even gonna go into things. I mean, if anybody's watched it, you know her character, you know what she's into. It's a lot. Would I recommend this series? Sure. I would recommend the series, but I will say when you get around, I think it is volume, I'm not sure. At some point we get a field day arc, and I don't want to give away why we're in a field day arc. But eventually we go to a different arc, and that's when it went downhill for me. I was not a fan, and it's completed, so there's nothing more to read. So there's no real conclusion for what happened, and I feel like a lot of stuff could have been explored. Things just went off the rails with the field day arc, in my opinion. I'm sorry. If y'all ever read it, let's talk about it in the comments, but it just was not my favorite. All right, moving on. Also have Raw Hero. So Raw Hero is by the same person who did Prison School. So obviously 18 plus, very explicit. This is about a young guy who was looking for a job. He's taking care of his two younger brothers, and unfortunately, he's having a hard time of it. On his way to another job interview, he gets stopped by this guy who is a pervert and is like, hey, do you want to work for me as an undercover? You will be a superhero, but you're going to work as an undercover bad guy. So in this, you know, time, there are bad guys, there are superheroes. The bad guys are comically ridiculous, okay? They have no idea what's going on, especially him. He goes undercover, but he dresses up like a woman, and it's the same kind of like hijinks as Prison School, where it's like everybody is obsessed with him. People are throwing themselves at him. My only issue here, and why I wouldn't recommend this series, is that much like with Prison School, how I said it kind of ended, there was no real conclusion. This one, it's only 6 volumes. And when we finally got to volume 6, right, to the very end, I was like, okay, there's supposed to be this big finale. I started reading it and I was like, what the fuck is going on? It was so rushed. I was so disappointed that they rushed the ending. So many like things were not tied up. Storylines were not like completed. Characters just, I was like, what happened to that character? And yeah. It was basically just like prison school. Just a rushed ending that wasn't really satisfying at all. So if I had to recommend one over the other, I would say read Prison School. You know, if you get to the field day arc and you want to keep pushing through, you know, keep doing it. But I would recommend Prison School before I recommend Raw Hero. My absolute favorite, would recommend 1,000 times to you, anime or manga, is Akame ga Kill. So, you have Akame ga Kill 0. This is the prequel. I would highly recommend reading this because you learn more about Akame and Kurume, her sister. It's so freaking good, but it's also so freaking sad. If you've ever watched Akame ga Kill, then you know. Some people die that I did not want to die. Okay? Very, very sad. I mean, I sobbed when I finished that series, when I watched the anime. But I would highly recommend reading the prequel. It's worth it. It's really interesting. You kind of see how the Empire got to be so corrupt, what they were doing to be so corrupt, and how Kurume gets involved in that like secret unit. And then of course you have Akame ga Kill, one of my favorite mangas and anime. I would recommend this, like I said, 1,000,000 times. Please read the series. It's so good. Great characters, great story. I'm obsessed with this series. I want to reread it all over again because that's how much I liked it. This would definitely be one of my top recommendations that I have, that I collect, that I think people would really like. I think the story is pretty solid. The characters are also really solid. Super sad, but also good. Good story. And then the ending is different in the manga than it was in the anime. Like there's also a lot of stuff that's in the manga that's not in the anime that I was really shocked about. Like I was so surprised because I was like, oh my god, was that in the anime? It wasn't? Well, damn, that really should have been in the anime. Same thing with like certain relationships that happened. There are more relationships that happen in this series than that happened in the anime. And I was like, oh my god, I wish that would have been explored in the anime. But, you know, it's a short anime. You know, they didn't make it like I don't think it was 20, maybe it was 24 episodes. Who knows? It doesn't even really matter. Either way, I recommend it. Read this. You know, just release all those feelings. You will if you read it. Because this fucked me up. And we're finally done. Let me tell you something. That was long. That was a long video. Thanks everyone for sticking beside me. Tell me in the comments, what do you think of my recommendations? Have you read any of these manga that I have in my collection? Do you recommend any that I should start collecting? What do you collect? What do you recommend? Or do you think that I'm so way off with my recommendation? I'd love to know in the comments. So let's get into it in there. Thank you so much for everybody who watched. I really genuinely appreciate it. If you liked the video, please like the video. If you like it, as I said in the beginning, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You know, my goal is 300 subscribers by the end of this year. I'm really hoping that I can do it. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much, everyone who watched. Have a good day. Goodbye.